Hey, everybody, it's Maxine Taylor, and this is another edition of Move Into the Magic. And I know you recognize my guest, my dear friend Angelo Lowry. So many of you have uh, posted on my YouTube channel and have sent me emails thanking me for introducing you to Angelo. Angelo is the real deal, truly. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time on her bio because she has so much to share with you today. Her website is angelolowry.com. Everything you need is there. Okay. She does long distance healings over Skype, Zoom, and by phone. So you don't have to be in Arizona. You don't have to be in her office. People want to be there, of course. Now, just in case you're saying, I hadn't met her before, she is the author, the #1 best-selling author of I Am and the Spirit Walks with Me, and she's the owner of the New Truth Healing Center in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is one of my favorite places on this planet. Angelo believes that we are all energetically connected, and I know if you are watching this show, you feel the same way, because that's the truth, and so it is. And that the key to healing is already within us. What she does is she unlocks it. So what I've asked her to do for us, for you, for me, is to share her success stories, because some of these physical issues, and some, of course, many physical issues are triggered emotionally. The cause is emotional and it manifests physically. You may have these. And when you hear what she has done for a client, you, through the airways, will be lifted up. And that may cause you to give her a call and have your own personal session. So, Angelo, welcome to Move Into the Magic.
Namaste, Maxine.
And we've got some wonderful topics to talk about. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, boy, people are really going to love this. Let's start with our shoulders. I think of Atlas Shrugged. Our shoulders bear the burden of what we carry. You have a success story relating to the shoulders that you'd like to share, please?
Absolutely. There are many miracles happening every day. When we focus on the shoulder and we look at that area, I've had several cases regarding the shoulder. The last case was a gentleman who actually came in. Now, he comes in because he wants to deal with stress and he wants to get better sleep. So this is why he shows up. So he doesn't show up actually for the shoulder issue. So when he lays there on the table, I could see that there were issues in his actual shoulder area. Also, I proceeded to work on other areas of the body. And what I realized was that during the session that this gentleman had sustained an injury because of sports that he had actually played. And so after the session, I brought it to his attention. I said, you have some things going on in the shoulder area that requires deeper work. And that's where my main focus was, on your body. Of course, even though I focused on that, it's always a guarantee when they come in for their session, there's always going to be a release of the stress. There's going to be a release of the anxiety, any nervousness or discomforts in the body. I'm getting rid of that pain and suffering. That's what it's all about, because I want the client to live and have a rewarding life, a pain-free life, because many of us, we deal with pain and suffering on a daily basis. Some of us have accepted that this is just the way it is because they've been like that all of their life, when that's not true. It's a beautiful thing to know that we actually have access to be able to release pain and suffering. And so when many clients come in and they realize, oh, I don't have to deal with this pain and suffering, then, it creates a brand new person. They're totally different than what they were when they first came in. So with this gentleman, after the end of the session, and I was speaking to him about the shoulder, I said, you had some accident here. I said, were you playing sports? And he couldn't even think of what it was with his shoulder. He goes, no, I don't have any shoulder issues. And then the aha moment came, and he said, you know what? I used to play sports and I injured my right shoulder. My mom and dad are physical therapists and they had worked on my shoulder, so I never thought anything about it. And I said, you're here because you're being spiritually guided, because this is an issue that would cause you problems as you get older, and we need to address it now. And I said, you have nothing to worry about because it's all done. So he just stared at me, because he's going, how did you know that my shoulder had this issue? And I completely forgot and didn't even remember. So it was a very beautiful experience. So that was an injury that took place for him. Sometimes there's other situations that come up with the shoulder. Sometimes we can just be simply holding something there from past lives or from childhood that actually need to be released. So every case is never the same. It is always different. I never go in those sessions thinking, oh, this person has a shoulder injury and it's going to be the same as someone else, because it's never that. It's always different.
I love it. I love it. Well, whatever the catalyst is, whatever the reason is for them coming to see you, as long as they get to the door, you'll be able to help them out. It can be anything.
Absolutely. I always say, if they make that first step, then the journey begins. The new life happens. Things begin to unfold and unravel. They're able to tap into their brilliance and their intelligence and other levels of things. It's so beautiful to just do the healing session. And it just encourages me to continue to work with people, because I get to see, the miracle of that individual when they come in the door, and I can't stop looking at them, because I see a new person. I see a new glow, a new difference than what they looked like when they first initially came. So it's very beautiful to see that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now there's another topic that is so powerful for women. And now with women stepping forward, claiming their femaleness, their equality as a human being, with the Me Too movement going on. There's one condition that I have found runs through so many women's lives, and that's fibroids. And guys, we love you, but you don't know what we're talking about right now. It is a very difficult situation, and you have, I'm sure, encountered it more than once. Please tell us a success story that you've had with fibroids, because every woman now, her ears are perked up.
Absolutely. There are many cases that come in fibroid related. And each female has a different story to tell in regards to the fibroids in which they're dealing with. One that I would like to share is with a young lady who actually had a very large fibroid. And basically she was going to have surgery for that fibroid, and she had found out about me, and so she wanted to go through the healing process for that particular fibroid. And it was there in her uterus area, so it was causing problems in her relationship and on other levels. So with this particular session that we did, it was actually a long distance session. So as I was working with her and I was bringing the energies in of healing, and I just had her to kind of calm herself as I began to work on her body. She said to me how it was really amazing because she could feel, as I was moving the energies through her body, she could actually feel the fibroid moving around in her body. So she was really shocked at that. So what was happening was I was bringing healing in to start the shrinkage of that actual fibroid. And so for her, she reported back that she had less discomfort in that particular area of her body. And of course, when it's a session like that and it's a fibroid, it's in the uterus area, or if someone's heading into surgery, I always recommend that they go back and they get a second testing, because that's where the miracles are found. They realize that it is no longer there. So this young lady no longer deals with that huge fibroid that was there. That fibroid was the size of a baseball, and it was actually getting bigger. And so she was in a lot of pain every day with that particular fibroid. So yeah, that was a very beautiful story to hear her talk about feeling me actually work on her, and I get that a lot. People say, wow, you're really doing this healing, because I wake up and I'm sore and you're telling me what I need to do about the soreness and everything else, so they're really amazed by it. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, you mentioned the uterus. I have seen for years, I've observed and experienced that we as women have issues with the female area because of our emotional situation as women and the position that we've been in as women. Um, can you elaborate, maybe give us an example of a woman who came to you with a uterine problem that you were able to relieve? Is that a separate issue, or is that tied in with the fibroids?
No, actually, I've had cases where those are actually separate issues from the actual fibroid. Just a few days ago, I had a young lady who came in, and again, she shows up and she just wants to get some relaxation and kind of get some guidance for her life. And as I began to work on her body, the focus was from the navel down to the groin area. And so what I realized there was that she had some massive things going on with the uterus area. So I worked from the uterus area all the way down to her right knee, because I began to pick up that she was having some things going on also in her right knee, and that the uterus area was connected to this right knee issue. Okay, so it was kind of like an L-shaped going from the groin area down to the right knee. And so I spent a lot of time working there, pulling out the negative energies from that uterus area. And I could tell that she had been dealing with that for quite some time. This was also another session where at the end of the session, I said to her, I said, there was a lot of work that went into your uterus area and your right leg. I said, you had an injury. What happened to you, And she goes, again, no, I haven't had any type of injuries. And then she goes, well, I've had a lot of issues with having infection in my uterus, and it happens on a regular basis. And I said to her, you had an accident. The accident is what is triggering the return of the infections in your uterus. And so I could see that if she continued to take medication for the infections that continuously come back, it's going to keep happening and happening because it was an accident. So we've got to resolve the accident of it. So again, it took her about 15 minutes, and then she came back and she said, you know what? I did fall. I remember falling. And she goes, oh my God, that was like way back November sometime. And I thought nothing of it. And I said, well, it was the fall. When you fell, you jarred the uterus area. Okay. It created issues in there, inflammation, irritation. I said, that's why those infections keep coming back. And so I said, it's caused issues with the right leg. However, you will no longer have these infections anymore. This is why you were brought here to me, because we needed to get this resolved because it was becoming a bigger problem for you. So again, she was excited about it, and wanted to share that story with her family because she didn't know anything, about the uterus being, having these issues because of that accident. So it was great for her to get that revelation.
Oh, yes. Oh, I know it. I could listen to these stories all day. I hope you in the audience love it as much as I do. I just love hearing success stories and knowing that Angelo is here if we need her. Moving along. Kidneys. This is very interesting. Recently, I found out that a friend of mine is undergoing dialysis. And of course, we're talking about the kidneys here. Astrologically, of course, the kidneys rule Libra, which is balance, relationships, interaction with other people, which we do unless we're hermits, unless we live under a rock. We interact with other people. So, can you share an experience, a success story relating to kidneys that you've experienced?
It's amazing when working with the body, how every single organ we can, experience heart issues, and we can say, okay, well, I have a problem going on with my heart because I feel pain in my heart. And then we end up having pain and we feel things in the body in other areas. The thing about the organs is that once one organ is affected, other parts of the body can also be affected as well. However, we don't put the two together and realize the issue that I have with the kidney is affecting other things. A prime example is with the kidney, we can also experience pain through the center of the body. So in the front of our body, the center of the body, if we're having kidney problems, we can experience pain through the center of the body. That's passing down through the heart, through the throat, all the way down through the stomach area, okay? Also, kidney issues can also affect the inner side of our legs, the thigh area, moving down to the bottom of the feet, the inside of our feet, okay? It can also have an issue with our back, the T1, the T3 of our back, okay? So we can have back pain and not really realize it's associated with the kidneys, we could have experienced some back pain and not even had the kidney issue be a noticeable issue, but it was forming. So that's why we had the pain in our actual back area. So with the kidney, I've had cases come up about the kidneys on a regular. And so, one case was I had a lady that basically she was diagnosed with kidney disease. She was going to have surgery, have the kidneys removed, and she went through the healing process. That did not have to happen. The doctor told her that she no longer had kidney disease. He didn't understand what was going on and how that could be possible when they had ran the test and it showed that she had the kidney disease. I've had cases like that come up. Very beautiful cases, very beautiful cases. And, like I said, it's for me, it's all about making sure that the client receives what it is that they actually need for their life. And it's a beautiful thing because I already know during that session what they're going to get and what's going to happen. I just don't share it with them because a lot of times there's things I need them to incorporate, and I want to make sure they do it and not have that thought process. Well, Angelo said it's going to happen. I don't need to do any of that. No, I need you to do it because it's about lifestyle change as well. I want you to incorporate new things into your life. We're creating a new you, a new body. So it's important to incorporate things as well. Coming to the session is great, but what are you doing outside of that session? So I always like to make sure I incorporate some guidance, some things that will be beneficial. And what's beautiful about that is that I don't have to give it any thought because it's spiritually given for each individual what it is that they need to focus on for their life, whether it's affirmations or if it's just a daily eating regimen. It's given to me, you know. Recently, I had a situation where it was just bringing in gratitude, but it was a specific type of gratitude. It wasn't just any type of gratitude. So it was beautiful, and the young lady noticed how she connected more with her spirit within. So that was very beautiful. You know, the kidney thing, you know, we have to take care of our body. We have to give our body what it actually needs. Sometimes people don't really know what the body actually needs, you know, and that's where, again, I'm able to help people on different levels, because when it comes to that, I love, you know, looking at the organs, the different areas of the body, and also showing the client, because I'm able to do body scans and we can focus in on the kidney and I can show them, you know, because the kidney also affects the teeth, the front of our teeth, and people don't realize that either. So it's beautiful to be able to share that information.
Wow, Angelo, this is absolutely wonderful. Of course it is. You are wonderful. And I want to invite you to come back next month because I know you have so much to share. And if you, in the audience, if you have any questions, Angela welcomes your questions. Just go to her website, angelolowery.com. All of her contact information is there. If she has raised a question in your mind, she is available to answer your question. Thank you again, Angela. Love having you here, of course.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure always.
And to all of you out there, I look forward to being with you next time. And just keep in mind that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Be well.